Picture a highly advanced 100,000-ton cargo vessel plowing into a reef in broad daylight. The weather is perfectly clear, the radar is fully operational, and the navigation equipment shows the hazard miles in advance. When investigators analyze the black box, they don't find a mechanical failure or a sudden storm. They hear a junior officer noticing the course deviation, hesitating, and choosing to say nothing because they are terrified of correcting a furious captain. Historically, the maritime industry has shielded this kind of extreme hierarchy under the banner of tradition. Officers held absolute authority, and aggressive command styles were tolerated, meaning junior crew members quickly learned to keep their mouths shut, even when they saw obvious errors. A crew paralyzed by an unwritten rule of silence represents a far greater risk to the ship than the ocean itself. To address this, we have to precisely define the behaviors that create that fear. Hazing, for example, is the practice of forcing dangerous or humiliating tasks on new crew members. For decades, it was dismissed as a standard welcome ritual. In reality, this practice strips away their confidence and deliberately exhausts junior sailors before they ever take a watch. Intimidation operates similarly on the bridge. It is the calculated abuse of rank to force absolute obedience. An officer who uses intimidation intentionally suppresses critical feedback from their subordinates. This document highlights a central truth of modern seafaring. If your mind cannot focus on the job, you will make a mistake and compromise the safety of your colleagues. A distracted, humiliated, or frightened seafarer is an active threat to everyone on board. Maritime safety experts now use an accident investigation framework that tracks psychological failures exactly like mechanical ones to pinpoint how a ship goes down. The sequence begins with toxic leadership. Superiors use aggression and intimidation to manipulate the crew and exert total control over the environment. That aggression creates deep psychological unsafety. Crew members learn that reporting a minor mistake will lead to being targeted and victimized, so they hide errors. Once trust collapses, morale plummets. The crew withdraws their effort. Routine maintenance gets skipped, and watchkeeping standards severely drop. This negligence destroys the ship's situational awareness. Critical safety information, like an approaching vessel or dropping pressure gauge, is intentionally withheld or missed by exhausted sailors. The breakdown in teamwork physically manifests at the chain's end. The vessel suffers a massive collision, grounding, or severe injury. This chain demonstrates how an uncorrected toxic interaction on day 1 initiates a specific sequence of events leading to a shipwreck on day 30. The destruction caused by a single incident of harassment behaves like a blast radius, radiating outward to damage systems far beyond the bridge. In the center is the individual. Victims experience rapid mental health decline, suffering from severe anxiety, insomnia, physical illness, and suicidal thoughts. The damage pushes into the second ring, the rest of the crew. The environment turns into a hostile us versus them dynamic, eroding any remaining trust or effective communication. At the outer limits, the impact hits the entire maritime sector. Distracted crews fail port state inspections and cause detentions. Experienced talent leaves the sea entirely, driving up massive legal and insurance costs for operators. Harassment operates as a systemic contagion. It rots the maritime ecosystem from the inside out, degrading the operational capacity of the entire global fleet. To break this domino effect, the industry is implementing the STCW 2026 amendments. These new regulations act as a strict circuit breaker to halt the sequence before an accident occurs. The core of this regulation is the enforcement of a just culture. This is an environment that actively treats honest human errors as opportunities to learn and improve systems, while firmly and strictly punishing deliberate or reckless misconduct. Under STCW 2026, shipping companies must combine proactive diversity, equality, and inclusion training with strict alcohol management policies to prevent aggression and ensure crews can spot deteriorating mental health in their shipmates. This document displays the uncompromising new standard for the industry. Safety equals respect plus dignity plus zero tolerance. Establishing psychological safety is no longer considered a soft corporate perk. It is a strictly audited, globally mandated navigational requirement. If a seafarer faces harassment, the immediate action steps are clear. Recognize the behavior, state firmly that it is unacceptable, step away if unsafe, and meticulously document the time, place, and witnesses. Crews also have powerful external reporting channels. Port State Control inspectors are now actively verifying anti-harassment compliance, conducting crew interviews, and using their authority to issue massive fines or physically detain non-compliant ships. And for those watching from the sidelines, standing by passively during an incident is actively viewed as approval of the toxic behavior. Bystanders must safely interrupt the action and support the targeted colleague. Protecting a crew's well-being is a core component of maritime leadership, a moral and legal necessity for ensuring every sailor makes it home.